In this video we will be reviewing the HP G7 laptop, which is basically a 17-inch version of the very popular HP G6 laptop. This laptop is available with many different specifications. However, the version we have here is an Intel Core i5-2430M processor, which is 2.4 GHz with Turbo Boost and Hyper-Thread. It also has 4 GB of RAM and a 500 GB hard drive. Unfortunately, as you can see here, HP have done a bit of a cost-cutting measure on the RAM, installing a single 4 GB stick in place of two equal 2 GB sticks, which limits the RAM to run in slower single-channel mode. This shouldn't impact most performance. However, power users may experience a performance decrease and may want to look into adding two equal sticks of RAM. This laptop has a fairly decent selection of I/O ports. On the left side of the machine we have a VGA port, a simple vent which produces a decent amount of air, an Ethernet port, an HDMI port, a pair of USB 2.0 ports, a microphone port, a headphone port, and an SD MMC card reader, as well as a hard drive and power notification LED. Moving around to the right side of the laptop, we find a DVD burner drive, a third USB 2.0 port, a power connection, and a Kensington lock. Unfortunately, this laptop does not contain any USB 3.0 or eSATA ports. On the front of the laptop, we find a pair of Altec Lansing speakers, which are very good quality, as you'll hear now. As you just heard, the sound quality from this laptop is absolutely fantastic. However, I have found that occasionally when playing large bitrate files, the sound can occasionally stutter and lag. However, this is only with really high bitrate sounds. The 17-inch screen on this laptop provides plenty space for working with its resolution of 1600 by 900, and colours on it are very vibrant. However, unfortunately it has a glossy finish, meaning it picks up reflections very easily, and also can easily pick up fingerprints. As well as this, viewing angles are quite disappointing, especially vertically, where colours shift dramatically when the screen is tilted, which is a pretty bad problem on a laptop where you may be viewing it from several different angles. Unfortunately, the screen can make text appear quite blocky when looking at it close. This isn't a major problem when viewing pictures or video. However, viewing documents and web pages, it is quite noticeable that the text does just appear a little bit blockier than on other screens. The keyboard on this laptop is pretty good. The keys are evenly spaced. It's not a chiclet style keyboard, however there are gaps between each of the keys. I personally find this okay, but I do find it fairly easy to bump the key next to it. However, keys are fairly quiet to type on, it's fairly easy to do, and it's quite nice. As well as that, going up to the 17-inch version with the G7, you also get the added number pad that you do not get on the G6. Unfortunately, there's not much distance between these, so it's quite easy to hit numlock and the numbers when aiming for backspace and enter. However, you soon get used to this and the keyboard's absolutely fine after that. Along the top of the keyboard, we have several multimedia keys. These take the default action when you press the key. For example, pressing these ones will by default change the brightness. So if you want to use the function keys as normal, you need to hold down the FN key and then press these keys, which is pretty interesting. It's different from other keyboards, but it does make it a lot quicker to change your brightness, etc. And I personally find that most people would do that a lot more than actually using the function keys themselves. The touchpad in this laptop is also fairly good. It has a bumpy finish compared to the rest of the laptop, which allows you to differentiate it between the rest of the body. The bumpy finish is quite nice, it's fairly soft so it doesn't irritate your finger, yet it's good enough to notice that you're on the touchpad and gives you a good idea on how fast you're moving on it. The touchpad is also a good large space, it's very easy to use. It also has gestures such as two-finger scrolling, which do work very well and very smooth. I have however found that occasionally when using the touchpad, the cursor appears to skip to different locations. However, this is fairly minor, it's easy to compensate for, and it could easily be solved in the driver update. But it's very rare and it only happens very occasionally. There's also a little dimple in the corner here that's actually set down in, and when you tap this twice, it turns the touchpad off and this light comes on. Do it again, and the touchpad comes back on again. Which is really good because if you're typing a long document and you don't want the touchpad to interfere by bumping it, you can simply do that and turn it off. The touchpad also has two buttons here. These are fairly good, there's not a huge travel distance, but they're very quiet, so you're not going to make a loud noise with them. I do however find that they sometimes do rock a little bit, there's a little give side to side in them. As far as general speed on this laptop goes, it's very good. Opening applications is usually very quick. Some intensive applications take a little while, but they're usually fairly fast. Browsing around Windows is fine, web browsing is very good, and it's very good at playing HD YouTube videos. As I've said earlier, I did find a bit stuttering when I was playing sound. However, this was very rare. I don't know if that's maybe an issue with other software that's on this machine, or if it's just a thing that can be solved in the driver update, but overall it's not a major problem, as it will only happen very occasionally. Here we have the Windows Experience Index performance. So here we have the processor, which gets a very good score of 7.0, the RAM, which gets a very good score of 7.2, despite it running in single channel mode. Graphics gets a score of 4.7 and 6.2, so you're not going to get huge gaming performance, however it'll be okay for very casual and basic gaming, as well as the hard disk, which get 5.9, which is a good score for a mechanical hard drive. Overall, the battery life in this laptop is absolutely fantastic. It can last a good few hours on a full charge when doing basic office tasks. Here, the 4 hours 40 minutes is while the system is idling. Overall, the HP G7 is a fantastic laptop, especially at this price point for a 17-inch machine. It's available with many different specifications, so you can find one that suits your needs. This version with the i5 has plenty of power to do most tasks, even basic gaming and video editing. Overall, it's a great well-rounded machine for most users. So thanks for watching, don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe, and you can also visit our website at review-this.org.